Okay, so let's talk about a bill that's being passed in Florida right now. I think it's called the Parental Education Rights Bill. I don't know what the exact title of the bill is. All I know is that it has the word parental and education and rights in it. Or like something along those lines. Where all I know is probably more than three words. But the mainstream media and the Democrats are calling it the Don't Say Gay bill. Even though that's not what the bill is called. Uh, what is the bill? It's pretty much uh, giving parents the right to criticize the schools if the schools teach sexual related content to classes grades pre-K to third grade. And if you've been living under a rock the past year, you would have been, if you had been paying attention to any news sources of parents across the nation criticizing schools, and it's not just critical race theory, but also sexual content that's being taught in classrooms that are way too mature for classroom that they're teaching them. Like,
please stop the sexual grooming of our children by these types of books and illustrations.
It is my job to teach my kids about sex. It's y'all's job to help teach about reading, writing, and arithmetic.
I can't show you some of the material because it is visually explicit, including stick figures demonstrating a variety of sexual behaviors and positions.
A sexually explicit comic called Gender Queer was pulled last month from an online Keller ISD library database. State Republican leaders, including Governor Abbott, have called for an audit of all school library books and the prosecution of those school employees who allow underage students to access them.
I remember watching Stephen Crowder's video on this, where he showed up a pamphlet that is being shared at schools, like teaching children to perform oral sex.
Look, this is the visual I'd been picturing. So now you have a boy,
middle picture here.
Middle picture, a boy performing blowing a woman with a strap on. And the woman, the girl who looks like a boy, is saying, "But I can't feel anything. This was much hotter when it was only in my imagination."
Here's the thing. I haven't seen such a thing until I discovered, until I actually looked up on porn. That was something I never looked at school. Like, the diagram actually did look like something that you could post on an adult website, like Rule 34. Never something you'll see at school. And the fact that they're teaching kids this, something I didn't discover until I discovered it on porn, that is big jarring. And I think they're actually teaching this stuff to middle schoolers, but there's no bill for that. This is for pre-K to third grade. And I've heard some nasty things about what's being taught to elementary school students. My younger sister, she has 3 kids. Her oldest just turned 6 in February and is in kindergarten. Her second child is 4 years old and is in pre-K, and she has a 1.5-year-old. 2 out of those 3 kids are in the age bracket. Now, she doesn't live in Florida. She lives here in the same state as I do, as Michigan. But, I wonder how she would feel if the schools are teaching some sexual content to her kids, and at the same time, those teachers are telling her kids, don't tell your parents what we're teaching you. Now, fast forward 3 years later. Let's say 3 years later, her 6-year-old is now 9 years old and is in 3rd grade. The 4-year-old is now 7 and is in 2nd grade, and that 1.5-year-old is now 4.5 and is in pre-K. And imagine her having all 3 of her kids being affected by this. Oh, she will be so pissed off. And the thing is, the political left and the mainstream media are painting this it's an anti-LGBT bill, when it really isn't. It's actually a bill that's supposed to stop schools from teaching sexual content, both heterosexual and homosexual. So if they say like, hey, we're going to teach you something about, man and female relationships to these, school children, I'm sure the political left will be so pissed off about that. If if it was labeled as a "Don't Say Straight" bill, they're going to be seal clapping that like crazy. But no, they're being told that it's a "Don't Say Gay" bill and it's an anti-LGBT. They're being told it's an anti-LGBT bill when it really isn't. It's more of an anti-grooming bill, and that's what I'm going to call it. That's what I'm calling it now, because that's all it is. It's to stop schools from teaching sexual content, to elementary school children. And the thing is, it's so funny that the way the political left are protesting it is as if they're protesting against something completely different and not at all the bill that they're supposedly protesting. Like, there's a video of school teachers walking down the hallway saying "gay" multiple times, like "gay, gay, gay, gay." Like, okay, you're protesting nothing. You're not really protesting what you're claiming to be protesting. Also, Mark Hamill posted on Twitter about, saying "gay" 20 times like a retard. Like, these people clearly have no idea what they're protesting. And the thing is, like, the political left are becoming more and more of this pedo party. Like, I've seen like an article like, "Oh, the political right has become the party of racism because we said so, and they're not even hiding." And it's like, on what claims? Meanwhile, the political left have become the pedo party, and they're pretty much celebrating. Like, you have this liberal professor saying how pedophiles should be part of the LGBT community. I bet you there are some people in the LGBT community who definitely do not want pedophiles be associated with them, especially considered 5, 10, 15 years ago. Associating pedophiles with the LGBT community was considered a slippery slope, and they're sliding down that slope like an Olympian skier. I don't watch the Olympics or sports for that matter, and I use that metaphor anyway. And you have like journalists saying, "Oh, if you criticize Netflix's cuties, you're far right." And let's be honest, look who they voted for. So yeah, if they want to criticize this bill, that's criticizing parents for giving them the right to criticize schools for teaching sexual content to their children, and the left are against that. Yeah, it's like, okay, go ahead and become the party that criticizes parents for criticizing schools for teaching sexual content to their children. Become the pedo party. Be fucking proud of it.
Stop the bill that I don't think parents should be telling schools what they should teach.
I guess while I was editing this video, I was looking at the video footage I recorded earlier, and it seemed to end it awkwardly. I guess the video recording just stopped by itself, so I guess I have to stop. I guess I have to end this video properly. So if there's anyone out there watching, like the video, please subscribe and have a nice day. Bye.